previously, is it automatic consideration, and just answering these for the good of the group, is it automatic consideration if students apply by January 31st, or are there still other applications to complete? This is a really good question, which I can add to future webinars, is that yes, as long as your application is entirely complete by January 31st, you will be automatically considered for merit-based scholarships, and there are no other applications that you need to submit for merit-based scholarships. So that's a great question. Another question asked is SIA the only route to a master's or PhD for an international student? So we only offer a master's degree in international affairs. Some students go on to get a PhD once they complete our program, but I would say the vast majority of students do complete the master's degree in international affairs, and then they go out into the workforce. All right, some more questions are coming in here. Great, someone asks, is automatic scholarship fully funded or partial scholarship? Does the scholarship cover tuition and fees and other expenses, or just part of the tuition fees would be deducted from the total tuition fees? Yes, so the scholarship, if you're awarded, again, scholarships are not guaranteed, they're limited, again, completely based on the merits of your application. If you're awarded a scholarship, it will be a partial scholarship. There are no fully funded scholarships at our program. If you're awarded a scholarship, it will reduce just the tuition and fees. You will be responsible for the remainder of tuition through external scholarships, grants, loans, sometimes government or business sponsorships are available out there. It'll really take some legwork on your end to find those. And you'll also be responsible for living expenses and things like that. Another question here is it possible for a business graduate with banking and data analytics experience to apply for a Master of International Affairs with analytics concentration? This is a really great question that I didn't touch on earlier. One of the most frequent questions we get is, do I need a particular degree in order to be considered eligible for your program? Simply put, no. We have students come from a wide variety of backgrounds in the STEM field. Political science and international affairs and history, for example, are popular undergraduate majors of our students. But we also have students that have bachelors of science in engineering or business majors, journalism, etc. So we're not taking into account specifically your undergraduate major when we're looking for potential admits into our program. We will look at your GPA and other factors of your transcript as we review your application, but the major really doesn't bear a whole lot of weight. Another question here on the application, it asks for completed math courses. Are there math courses that students are expected to have taken in order to be admitted? And how do we indicate that we are currently taking a course when applying? Another great question. So there are no math prerequisites for our program. Some schools or Master of International Affairs program might require some level of economics training or statistics training before being admitted into their program. We're not one of those. We do not require that set of coursework. We do have statistical training or data analytics courses with ingrained in our core classes, as well as economics. But again, we will train you in those, and we have courses to help you prepare for those types of classes should you be admitted and enrolled in our program. On the application itself, yes, you can put the different types of math courses, economics courses, or statistics in the box that asks for that. And I believe there is another box that you can include some other coursework that you may be taking that is relevant for our degree. So please go ahead and put that in there just so that we're aware, and we can also look at your transcript as well. But that's a really great question. Thank you. All right. Are there any other questions live? There was another question I did want to answer from our pre-screened questions that came through. Someone asked, are there flexible schedules and support for students who work and study simultaneously? which I think is a really good question I'd like to address. So students who enroll in our degree program, sometimes they do find on-campus or even off-campus employment to help maybe get experience, or simply they just need some extra money, which is completely okay. We do have quite a bit of students who do that, and so there is structure and support around that. Classes are flexible. I mean, you have to show up to those classes that are residential, but we do have quite a bit of students who do that, and so yes, there is structure and precedent for students who work and study simultaneously. And we have a student services person here who can help you with time management, study skills, and those types of things, so you can stay on track. But I think that was a really good question. I did want to address that. Okay, some other questions that came in. Someone asks about application fee waivers and what they should do about that. Well, because you're here, you're probably on our mailing list. And in the month of October, we are running a fee waiver campaign. If that comes to your email, you will see that, and you will be getting an application fee waiver through that. So please keep a keen eye on your email so that you can get a fee waiver code there. Someone also asks, the application also asks for our senior junior GPA. Is that given more weight than our cumulative GPA? Should we put our cumulative GPA anywhere on our application other than our resume or CV? So we do holistic review here. We will look at your GPA, but it is not the most important aspect of your application. The typical GPA that comes into our program is about a 3.5 on a 4.0 scale. I would say anything below a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale is probably not great, but if you apply with a lower than 3.0 GPA and you have a lot of other strengths in other areas, you could still be considered. So don't let that keep you from applying to our program. As far as the senior junior cumulative GPA, when we review applications, we will particularly look at your cumulative GPA. However, the junior senior GPA can help us to show maybe if you started off college and you were struggling a little bit in your freshman and sophomore years, we can see success and improvement in your junior senior year. So that can be helpful in that aspect. But we will look at your transcript for the GPA. Self-reported GPAs, not so much. So make sure that's, well, you can't really help what's on your transcript and what's not, but we'll look at your transcript for that. Someone else asks, is there any provision for flexible installments payment of tuition fees? So yes, if you are a student in our program, there are ways to go on payment plans. I believe it's 4 payment plans throughout the semester. You'll have to forgive me, this is outside of my wheelhouse, but if you are admitted and you enroll in our program, we can connect you with the right people to set up the payment plan throughout each semester. Someone else asks, is there a quota or percentage for the number of international applicants getting admitted? The short answer is no. We don't have a quota or percentage of international applicants who get admitted. I will say, though, that typically each class has about a rate of 20 to 25% international students, but that's not because we either admitted or denied a certain amount of international students. That is merely based on the amount of international students that decided to come to our program. So great question. Thank you for that. All right. Are there any other questions right now? And if none, I'm happy to give you 16 minutes of your day back. We do really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. If you want to go onto our YouTube channel to catch up with any of the material that was said today, please go ahead and do that. We hope you have a great rest of your day. And I do see a question that just came in. They ask, is there any preference given to Penn State undergraduates? There is no particular preference given to any particular demographic or group of students or body of students or whatever you want to say. Everyone is evaluated fairly in the same exact way. For the person who asked this question, reach out to us. If you're a Penn State undergraduate student, there are particular programs within the Master of International Affairs where you could potentially get your master's and bachelor's in a 5-year degree program, depending on your major and also what year you're currently in. So reach out to us because that may be you, and we'll let you know if you're eligible for that based on a few check boxes. But that's a good question. We treat everyone fairly though. So thank you. All right. And